Hello, everybody. We are those guys you hate.
Welcome to the show that encourages you to be your best self by not being like us.
My brother and I hopelessly search for nuance as we wade through wacky segments and crazy conversations.
If you can withstand the insanity, you might actually learn something.
Tyler, what are you going to be getting into on this week's show?
Ryan, on this week's show, you think our politics are bad? I have got a pretty heinous oof that will show you things could be worse.
Okay.
And spree killers. All the rage right now.
Sure.
What about you, Ryan?
You got to get it in while you can.
Yeah.
Tyler, on this week's show, have you ever heard of the Yankee wife swap?
No.
It goes deeper than the name implies, and King Charles' new portrait released, and it's a bloody mess. On this week's Those Guys You Hate. Tyler, do you have something that no matter how many times someone corrects you, you just can't learn it? Like there's some sort of a breakdown in like, I keep getting this wrong over and over again, even though somebody has explained it to me.
I don't think this is exactly what you're asking me, but for me, it's specific people's names. Where there are people in my life where they just keep telling me their name and I just can't remember it.
Or you lock it in as the wrong name.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm pretty sure you're Diana. Like 99%
Call your
sure.
parents right now. Let's go.
Do you have a birth certificate that I could look at? Or even like a word that you can't remember where you're like, every time this comes up, I want to use this word, but I can't lock it in.
Especially because I know it would make me sound so smart right now, and I can't think of the word. It's unfair.
And you're just bailing water out of the boat as you're trying to think up antithesis. You know what I mean?
This is backfired on me.
Yeah. Hold on. I've almost got it. Anti.
Hip Hop Anonymous.
Now, here is one that you will know from our interactions together. You, me, brothers, have been for a while.
All my life, I think.
I cannot get it through my thick ass skull that Costa Rica is not an island. I don't know. I know it in theory, but whenever it comes up in conversation, I reference Costa Rica being an island.
It actually goes one step further because every time, and this is totally true, every time we talk about Costa Rica, you always make the exact same joke.
What do I say?
Which is, do you think you could drive straight from Costa Rica to here? And I'm like, yes, you totally could.
That's number one, terrible joke. Even if it was an island, it's not worth it.
It's a dad joke.
And number two, yes, you can. Why do I think Costa Rica is an island?
Tropical paradise.
Sure.
I don't know, something along those lines.
How did the monkeys get there? That's the real question.
It is true. You always think it's an island.
Every time I say it, you look at me with the same disappointed look and you say, Ryan, Costa Rica attached to the
mainland.
Thank you. I was going to say antithesis. And I just can't get it. I don't know why.
It's so true.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's so true. That's a great example.
Costa Rica, not an island. Who fucking knew? Welcome
Literally
to
everybody.
Aside from me, who knew? Welcome to the show, everyone. My name is Ryan. Over there is my brother, Tyler. Tyler, how do you do?
I'm good, buddy. That one just perked me up a little bit.
I thought you would
love
like
it.
that. There's nothing that you like more than me looking like a fool, and that's why you're always so happy.
Yeah.
Costa Rica, not an island. Tyler, episode 222.
Figured you like that.
I do like that.
Yeah.
I'm in charge of 222, which I love. Did the numbers, angel numbers, that's kind of a big thing, right?
Woof.
Does that do anything for you or not really?
Yeah, I just don't like to admit it to people.
Me too. Me too. I've said and spoken on the show many times about how a big part of, this is the way that I look at it. Those numbers, they signify to me something that brings joy. Almost like the universe has given me a wink and saying, hey, you're doing a good job. Even if I'm wrong, not unlike religion. it makes me happy. I would rather there be things in my life that bring me joy, even if they're wrong. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. It's it's just a belief like anything else. It's something that brings people comfort. And for anybody who may not know, an angel number is just when you're out in the wild, so to speak, and you see a repeating number like 111, 222, something like that.
I'm a 111 guy, and a pivotal point in my life was being behind a car, and their license, I took a picture of it. You've seen it before. Their license plate said Rye 111.
Yep. That's God talking to you.
That's it.
Time to give up.
This week, after a wait, what?
It's like, we're just gonna blow right by
sure,
that. Huh?
111 less person in your family, if you know what I mean. But this week, after making some interesting decisions, after getting into a bit of a family squabble, I was behind a car whose license plate said 11A, which to me is 111. 11A, nah. NAH.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
It was very interesting. Took a picture of that as well.
I feel like the universe is now in balance.
Exactly
You
right.
have just solved the question of the universe is what should I do?
Nah. All right, Tyler, let's do the Depression Index.
No one cares.
What
You don't
the
know
Depression
what to do.
Index
The world
is
has
a machine that I built with my hands, and we use it to crank it up to talk about mental health, and we talk about what's going on. Actually, this whole thing was born of, we would tell people at the beginning of the show what state we were in emotionally so they could decide whether or not they wanted to listen to it. It has evolved over the years,
And you guys stuck by us all the same.
and we love you for it.
We genuinely do.
Sure. So, Tyler, how are you this week, my brother?
I am doing all right, Ryan. I signed up for another stand-up class.
Yep.
And to push myself creatively, I realized that it is a deep insecurity of mine because I went through the very, first 28 years of my life telling not only myself but others that I am not creative. I would literally tell people that.
I've heard you say it.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah. And so I cemented that in my mind, and so now I've arrived at a place in my life where I'm trying to push myself creatively, and it brings me ultimately joy, but it brings me a deep amount of discomfort as I'm going through it. You know, it's like a tattoo.
Absolutely.
It hurts like a motherfucker while I'm having it, and then at the very end, and I see the finished product, and I'm like, yes, I'm glad I did this.
Well, I think most people can kind of resonate with that. I know for me, like as I drawed a lot in my life, and when you're in the middle of it, it looks like shit.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just got to walk away and come back and you're like, oh, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
This is not bad. There's something about your art, especially while you're doing it, that you're almost like, you don't want to show it to anybody. You're like ashamed of it or whatever the right word is.
Yeah, well, just the thing about art is no matter what form it comes in, whether painting or stand-up or acting, no matter what, you're making yourself vulnerable in front of the entire world, and that is terrifying.
Showing people your art is very tough. Even on this podcast, there's been so much of it where it's hard putting yourself out there. You know
Definitely.
what I mean?
But we have heard you, ladies and gentlemen. We listen to you. We get it. We want more. We want more of your faces, your words, your voices. We can only give you so much.
Hog shots.
Oh, that's coming in our upcoming
Yes, it is.
calendar, so don't even worry
That's
about
it.
it.
I got it on my iCal.
Unfortunately, there's only 2 of us, so you're going to have to split it 6 months each. So
That's exactly right. Now for this stand-up, are you doing anything differently? This is your 3rd time doing it. Is there anything that is striking you differently?
You mean in terms of what I'm writing or just the experience as a whole?
Preparation, the way that you're going into it.
It's been really tough because I keep trying to push myself to, like, if I could just set aside 15 minutes a day to write something, it doesn't even matter what it is. You don't
whether
even,
it's good or not. You're just
doesn't
getting
matter.
words on a paper.
Funny, bad, good, doesn't matter, just write. And I just cannot seem to will myself so far, but I'm working on it. And that's the reason why I signed up for these classes. Is not just because I get to meet new people and try new things, but it also forces me to do it.
It puts a deadline on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Which is I just work. I was gonna say best under a deadline, but I should just leave it at I work under a
It's
deadline.
the only time that it transpires.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go into it, and even podcast Granny, she even said, "Hey, how about just like putting it off, like cancel this one and then go for the next one to like warm yourself up to it." And I said to door. I said, no matter what, even if it's terrible, I have to go through with this. I have to push myself to do it.
Yeah. Now, my question for you is, because obviously I've never experienced this. I do try to write comedy for this show, but never have I sat down and been like, all right, here we go. I'm going to be funny. Like, for me, I feel like that's something that kind of has to happen. I put a note down in my life. I put a note in my phone and then come back and work on it later. You're sitting down and you're just like, all right, I got to come up with something funny.
I never think of it as I shouldn't say it like that. My objective is not to write something funny. My objective is just to write, and then something funny will come out of that.
Okay.
Like, whenever I write, like even for the show, my strategy is always just sit down and start writing. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what that voice in your head is telling you, whether it's good or bad. Normally it's telling me it's bad.
Sure.
And it's
I'm
just
familiar with that voice.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just right no matter what is coming out. And then once there are words on paper, now you have something to play with.
Okay. But do you ever take from just, an idea that pops into your mind while you're living your life?
Always. I have an entire list in my phone that is probably hundreds, if not thousands of words long now of just notes of thoughts that I've had. The majority of them, probably I can't do anything with
Unusable,
it.
yeah.
But my strategy has always been just write it down. No matter what you think that again, back to the voice, you have a thought like, oh, maybe I could use that in stand up, and the voice comes in and goes, no, you can't. That's stupid. Write it down anyway. It doesn't matter.
It could be nothing, but it could be something.
Exactly.
And it gives you something to play around with.
Yeah, so as I get closer to the date, which is it's 2 days away, I haven't written a fucking thing.
2 days away to start it.
Yeah, on Tuesday.
But you're not expected to come in there with the full monologue.
5 minutes. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you're expected to show up with material.
Well, it's not show up with material. It's you. Every time we do class 1, the very first class of this, they make you do a 5-minute set. If you don't have anything at all, they make you stand up there and just talk about your life. That's
wow.
it. Yeah.
And now, is that what you've done each time? Just going up there and talk about your life?
No, both times I've had something written down. So this time I'm not going to have anything.
Wow. So you've resigned yourself to just, I'm going in there.
No, I'm hoping to have some like bullet points in, and then I can talk about those and see if they're funny.
Okay, how about this? What's the deal with airport food?
The joke that I'm really, first of all, it's terrible.
We're rolling, dude.
What is the deal? Maybe I could say it just like that.
Why don't they make the whole plane out of the black box? Am I right?
Yeah, my main joke that I'm focusing on right now, and I'm kind of blowing my load before I even get in front of anybody.
I know that feeling.
Is, right now we're seeing ourselves divided more than ever in this country.
We do not.
Across this world.
Sure.
And right now we're seeing such a rise in nationalism. It's my country is better than your country.
Are we seeing a rise in that, or is that something that's baked into the bread of humanity?
It's something that's being stirred up,
weaponized
more and more. And patriotism, extremes are bad in my opinion. I'm fine with being absolute about that.
Every time.
Every extreme is bad. Every single one.
That's a gag. Write that down.
And that could be actually pretty good. But patriotism, I fully agree with. Being proud of where you're from. Being excited of where you're from. Hey, these are the reasons why I love where I'm from.
Patriotism it leaves a bad taste in my mouth, just the word, because of what it's now associated with.
But that's it.
I love America, by the way.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. He's the most loving of America.
Very, very much.
But now, nationalism is on the rise, which is not only do I love where I'm from, my country is better than where you're from.
That's the difference between those two things?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it could be put more eloquently by GPT, but it's basically patriotism is this is why I love where I'm from. Nationalism is me versus you. This is why I'm better than you.
Yeah.
But really, nobody achieves anything by being born into the country that you are. By being nationalistic, you're just bragging about where your parents decided to fuck.
Exactly.
That's it.
Even as a child, I never understood that idea of like, you were born a block from me, and so I hate you.
Exactly.
That just never resounded with me.
And that was, supposed to be a joke, not a conversation, but that's where I'm going to go into my class with.
No, but what you're saying is right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was supposed to be funny, not right.
Crushed it.
Thank you.
You are on the right path to something, my boy.
In all fairness, when you're doing stand-up, nobody's having a conversation with you and asking questions, so it'll come out a little bit differently.
Did you ever think about that as a kid?
How's your relationship with your parents?
What's going on with your family dynamics? We're worried about you.
You look tired. So that is a long-winded way to say that I'm going to try to embrace it, but I do notice that the closer that I get to the class, the more anger is rising up in me. It's that little kid throwing a tantrum of like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to do a better job of parenting that side of myself, but boy, oh boy, is it a tantrum.
I feel that way about work.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So this week, I am at a 5, baby.
Spin
1, 2, 3, 4,
that wheel, you
5.
funny little fucker. Yeah. Fantastic, Tyler. Get it up. All right, this week I said on the pregame, Tyler and I warm up. We do a little vocal sparring. We record it. We put it 30 seconds after the show. Check it out. I said that 2 nights ago, in a way that I have not done in years, I went out hard. So mentally, I am feeling quite sluggish, and I appreciate you guys buoying me as we move along here. This is what I want to do for this week's Depression Index. I've done a lot of introspection. I have done a lot of thinking, especially over this yoga teacher training. It's opened up all of these different doors and different thought processes inside of me. And I've been thinking a lot about narcissism, Tyler. Narcissism. You like it?
Not a huge fan, I'll admit.
Is narcissism more prevalent now than it's ever been?
I would say so, simply because of the rise of technology. It's just something where everybody dreamed of being on a stage one day. Now everybody has the ability to create their own stage. And we have seen a rise in, I should say, narcissistic behavior.
Right.
Because narcissism is a truly diagnosable condition. You might. I can't argue against that.
Wait. Tyler, that is not how this goes.
You could. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist.
Hey, nope, you're right about this one. Yes. And for the uninitiated, of course, what is narcissism?
Well, narcissism is when you think you're the, so to speak, center of the world, where everything revolves around you. Nobody else is as important as you, and whatever you want or whatever you need takes priority over everybody else.
Yep. And I have struggled with a lot of that in my life, and I have had some real thoughts on it. So really, this is what I have here. Speaking of notes in our phone, I have been jotting down some of these ideas, and I would just like to have a conversation with you.
Oh, I think I'm about to diagnose Ryan with narcissism.
I feel like you already have.
Buckle
Tyler.
up, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, this is about me, so chill out.
Gotcha.
Tyler, so
this is about me.
Is it
I don't know
fair?
if you did that on purpose, but that was chef's kiss.
Did what? So Tyler, now here's my question. Narcissists, they present themselves as being like the best thing that's ever happened. Narcissism, do they inherently hate themselves?
No. True, genuine narcissists, no. They think they're the best thing ever. Now, people who display narcissistic behavior, it could be a side effect of just of low self-worth, of low self-confidence.
See, I think that's at the basis of and again, I'm not a doctor. I think that's at the basis of almost all of what we're talking about.
Agreed, but true narcissism, as I said, when you are diagnosed with narcissism, that is a true, dare I say, mental disorder.
It's like a chemical thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, technically all things are chemical things, but yes, it's something that you are, no, it's something you could develop, but some people are just put in situations where they're led to believe that they are the cream of the crop. There is nothing, they're better than sliced bread.
I don't think you said that right. Now, this is the thing.
Best thing since sliced bread?
That's the one.
Gotcha.
And here is some of my thoughts on that, where most of us think of narcissism as being a weapon. But the way that I see it is that narcissism is more of a shield. It is where you have to create the shield around yourself because of your low self-worth, because you are afraid that you're never going to get anything. So you have to develop this personality where you're trying to get everything. And it is a very interesting where you think that you're the best person in the world, but you still think that you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, but not everybody thinks of it like that, or not everybody experiences that way.
Like in what explain it to me.
As I said, certain true narcissisms don't think of themselves as pieces of shit. They genuinely believe that they're the best among us no matter what. You could hold up a mistake in front of them that they very much committed, and they're like, no, that wasn't me. They're, dare I say, unable to perceive themselves as the one in the wrong.
And I guess that's just an important line of demarcation, people who show narcissistic behaviors and true narcissists, because true narcissists are very few and far between.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's a psychological situation.
For sure. It's so many people on earth show OCD tendencies, OCD behavior, but not everybody is OCD. OCD is a diagnosable condition.
Yeah.
That is very serious.
I think that yes, there's traits and then there's the actual illness itself.
Correct.
Let me see what else.
And to go back to what you said about it not being a sword, it's actually a shield. The shield can be used as a weapon. Yes, it is a shield. People with narcissistic tendencies can put this up to protect themselves. But much like somebody who is scared of letting people in because they're scared of getting hurt, and so they go on the attack.
I got that.
I can't help you there, buddy. Who might go on the attack to protect themselves. It's the same thing where this thing that they were using as a shield, they can then use as a weapon to go on the offensive.
No, absolutely. And I'm not saying that it is some sort of a delicate defensive maneuver. It is normally in your face. It is normally a furnace blast of something that very often people do not like. But I think that we think of this as generally people just thinking they're superior, when often I think that it's quite the opposite. My narcissistic behaviors when I was younger stemmed from my insecurities, and I didn't realize that until I was much older.
Yeah, and what you could be saying right now is simply entitlement, where you're entitled to these things. You're entitled to feel good even though you treat others like shit. I'm entitled to this even though I didn't earn it. That kind of behavior is prevalent right now.
It very much is, and we're seeing more and more of it. And the idea of when you meet somebody, you're almost scanning them for what's wrong with them because you need to figure out what's keeping me on top. Like, okay, how am I better than this person?
Yeah, comparisons.
Comparisons. And truly, I believe that there is a root of fear in that. I believe that it is this thing where you're trying to keep yourself feeling superior because internally you really don't feel that way.
Oh, yeah. Well, you don't feel like you're good enough.
Exactly right. And these are just my few and far between thoughts on narcissism. It's something that I think is very interesting, and to try to work your way out of that is very tough. I find myself now trying to deal with my problems in a way without that. Now having this peek behind the curtain, the look at the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain. And it's really tough. It's really hard to really just try to go back and as you said earlier in the show, try to parent myself with this knowledge. It can be very hard. And the only thing that I could think that was harder was staying the way that I was.
Yeah.
So with all that being said, with feeling like shit right now mentally, hopefully I've learned from my mistakes. This week, I'm at a 4, baby. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Good for you.
It's not, Tyler, it's not a competition.
Say that every time when you win.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
Let's go to break.
Hey, everyone. If you're anything like us, you've struggled with depression, anxiety, isolation, or any number of things that hold you back in life.
Or do you procrastinate a little too much? Maybe you've had trouble with self-control or even just going through a tough time. Regardless of whatever it is you're going through, therapy can help.
For me, Ryan, it's completely changed the way I deal with my problems. Even the relationship with my own thoughts have improved dramatically.
And that's why we're excited to tell you about today's sponsor, BetterHelp.
BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy more affordable and more accessible. And this is so important to us because finding a therapist can be really hard, especially when you're limited to the options in your area.
BetterHelp is a platform that makes finding a therapist easier because it's online, it's remote, and by filling out a few questions, BetterHelp can match you up to a professional therapist in as little as a few days.
It's easy to sign up and get matched with a therapist. Go to betterhelp.com/thoseguys or click on the link in the show's description. Clicking on that link not only supports us, but supports you.
And we want to support you too by giving you 10% off your first month of BetterHelp to connect with a therapist and see if it helps you.
Finding the right therapist is so important, someone that you really connect with, and BetterHelp has made that easier than ever. Switching therapists until you find the right one without having to worry about insurance or any additional fees.
You know, Tyler, when I first had my son, I felt so many emotions that I had never experienced in my life. Therapy really helped me figure out what was going on.
Well, that is betterhelp.com/thoseguys. Help the show by supporting the people that help us.
Those guys.
There are people that are still on the fringes of society. We can still make fun of fat people. We can still make fun of bald people. We can still make fun of people who blow their extremities off of fireworks. It needs to be equality for everyone.
Can you make fun of that last
Absolutely.
group? Make fun of people who blow their extremities off with fireworks?
There was a football player who very recently blew off like 4 of his fingers, and we all had our laughs at Jean-Pierre Paul.
Did we have a laugh? I thought it was
Absolutely.
horrific, and it was a terrible invasion of privacy because
Well-
his medical records were put out there for the world to see.
If you don't want your privacy to be invaded, then be a little bit more responsible on Freedom Day, Tyler.
You hate.
Wait, I'm now arguing.
That sounds like an infringement of freedom.
I'm arguing on the other side that I started off on. I told you I'm keeping you on track,
Full
okay?
circle, baby.
I could do this. Necrophilia, a victimless crime, Tyler. Now,
Those guys you hate. Guys you hate. Guys you hate. Guys you hate. Guys.
good to go.
Yeah, red circle.
And we are back, baby. All right, Tyler, let's go right into a Droove Got Mail. That's beautiful. All right, Tyler, I'm actually kind of shocked that you have not seen this yet because to my understanding, it has taken the internet by storm.
Okay.
What you are about to look at is King Charles. Is he going to become king? Like, how does this work? I know the queen just passed away. Are we still doing kings and all that?
Listen, man, the last time I talked about the royal family, I said Marilyn Monroe meant Queen Victoria, all right? I'm not delving in to the subject anymore.
Not our best moment because I didn't correct you, but go ahead and look at this portrait. This is like the first official portrait that he has come out with since this increase in power, and I'd be very interested in your thoughts on it.
Okay.
Like I said, it's taken the internet by storm. It's been very polarizing.
Yeah.
A lot of people love it. A lot of people hate it.
I mean, it's well done. A lot of red. It's red on red.
Sure.
Yeah.
And just think, like when you think of a painting of a royal figure, describe it. Describe what you're looking at.
It looks, for me, because the subtitle above it, the caption above it says it looks like he's on fire. For me personally, my brain immediately went to he's drenched in blood,
Right.
which is kind of true. The whole royal family. They're if you really get into the depths of the things that family has done, kind of bastards.
Colonizers?
Literally the definition of it. Yes.
German?
Kind of German.
Yeah,
Yes.
back-
Maybe werewolves. Who knows?
Really?
Maybe. Yeah.
Wow.
Let's not rule it out.
Wait, can you be a werewolf and a lizard person at the same time?
Well, I think let's say yes.
Okay, fine. Now, I love that you said blood, and we're going to get into that. You and I are about to do a little role playing, Tyler.
Oh boy.
But I think it's kind of cool. I think it's just a cool looking photo. It's, painting.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of captivating. I like it for some reason. It's just so different than what I would expect for that kind of a painting to be.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, let me ask you something. When people throw that word around, colonizers, you hear it so often nowadays, especially.
You say it quite a bit.
What does that truly mean? What does that really mean?
Going somewhere and taking somebody else's land and colonizing like what we did to America, where we phase out the people that were the natives, that
The
lived
indigenous
here,
people.
and then we take over and start living here.
Call it
you
our
know?
own.
Yeah, it's like gentrification on a countrywide
Okay,
scale.
cool.
Yeah.
Gentrification almost sounds like gentleman. Doesn't seem like a problem with it. And what is gentrification? It's where you take a bad neighborhood and you build it up, and then all the people who are already there have to get out so
Yeah.
you can sell it to other, I'm assuming, white people.
A wealthy person comes in, buys up a bad neighborhood, immediately renovates the entire area, but then makes it too expensive for the
Prices
people
out.
for that live there for generations.
Man, us white people are just evil. All right, so now here's what I want you to
Just
do.
human beings. Just human beings are evil.
I'm going to give you a little backstory, okay? And let me ask you ahead of time. How's your British accent?
My accents are terrible.
Okay.
You know I'm tone deaf.
Well, we're gonna need.
I don't like talking about it.
I don't like bringing that up. All right. So apparently, at some point, Charles was recorded having phone sex with his now wife Camilla.
Well, man, let that be private, man. That's nobody's business.
I agree.
He wasn't doing anything immoral.
Which is really unfortunate because we're about to talk about it on our show.
Okay.
But go ahead and open up your text messages. I'm going to be Charles. You're going to be Camilla. And we are going to act.
Why do I got to be Camilla?
Just because it's the way that all this works. And then we're going to act this out. And perhaps it's going to give a little bit of context to this painting. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, sure.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's.
All right, here we go.
Why not?
All right, so we're breaking right in. This is, King Charles and Queen Camilla having phone sex a couple of years ago. And here we go. Oh, stop. I want to feel my way along you, all over you, up and down you, and in and out.
Ooh.
Let's do it again. Particularly in and out.
Ooh, that's just what I need at the moment.
Is it? Oh, God. I'll just live inside your trousers or something. It would be much easier.
What are you going to turn into? A pair of knickers? Oh, you're going to come back as a pair of knickers.
Oh, God forbid. A Tampax, just my luck.
You are a complete idiot. Oh, what a wonderful idea.
So in the middle of sexual back and forth,
Yeah.
he referred to himself as coming back as a tampon. And now this painting of him covered in blood has been painted.
The man knows what he wants.
And I say, jolly good on you. Give her a good old-fashioned Rogering. And also one thing that I would like to ask about this is, you are a complete idiot. Where she says that in the final line of our little role play. Great job, by the way.
Thank you.
You did a great British woman's laugh.
Thank you.
How do you feel about people like jokingly saying like, "Oh, you're an idiot"?
I mean, it depends on the relationship that you have. I'm not a big fan of like truly insulting people out of passion. That's kind of a weird dynamic or juxtaposition.
Or are you?
But at the same time, if your relationship is solid enough, there's nothing wrong. Like we say "fuck you" to each other, but we don't actually mean it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I just don't like that.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, you're an idiot. I don't know. That as a love language, that just does. And for some reason, that's even different to me than "fuck you." I don't know why, but it's just not my jam. Nonetheless, Prince Charles, King Charles, he's a tampon, Tyler.
Okay.
He's a tampon.
Oh, good for him. At least he's giving back to society.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's a bloody mess. All right, Tyler, give me your oof. Oof is a segment that we do where you're calling somebody out. How would you label this?
Oof is whenever you see behavior that is embarrassing, it's shameful.
That was terrible phone sex, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was terrible phone sex.
Don't ever use the word trousers in phone sex.
That's what got you. The trousers is what got you.
There's nothing sexy about a pair of trousers.
Gotcha. Yeah, and in this case, disgusting behavior that makes you just go, ooh.
Yeah, you warned me about this one ahead of time, which you normally don't do, so I'm not feeling great about this.
Yeah, so let's just jump right into it. Here in America, we have a lot of really embarrassing politicians. Like, really embarrassing. Like, you look up at, they got elected in, and you're like,
What did Anthony Weiner ever do?
other than sending his wiener to a 14-year-old girl?
That's a bit on the nose, isn't it?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. So we have some truly embarrassing, let's call them misfits, in our politics.
I think the problem is that much like that narcissism discussion that we had, the people that are called to seek out power are inherently harboring some things inside of them that would be distasteful to, let's say, a quote unquote normal person.
Sure. And you're absolutely right about that. But I'm not even talking about the evil ones. Because, man, at this point, I'll take evil. I know what your motives are. I know where you're going with this.
That is, if that is not the state of government of this, I'll take evil.
Give me evil.
Please.
But there are so many politicians that you look at and you're like, this person is stupid. I
Yeah.
don't even mean that as like, I'm going to insult them and make them feel bad. I mean the very literal definition of the word, this person is stupid. How can millions of people or however many voted for them look at that person and go, that's the person I want voted representing me?
I know that we're not using the right terminology here, but there's a lot of stupid people out there.
True.
That perhaps that resonates with, or they just they deem that normal.
Yeah, which is depressing. But
Yeah.
I have a couple oofs here in this segment from other countries
Okay, good.
that make you go, ooh, like what the fuck are you guys
Okay,
doing?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, finally, just
Gotcha.
a little American love.
First, we are going to Thailand, home of the ladyboys. Not that that's what interests me or anything like that.
It was literally the first thing you brought up.
It's all I can think about.
Yeah,
Ryan.
I know, me too.
A Thai politician, a pretty famous Thai politician. Hold on.
You got this.
Prapaporn Chuawadeko.
His first name is Proper Porn?
Her first name
Obviously.
is Prapaporn.
Okay.
Yep. She was caught by her husband, filmed as a matter of fact, because he was under her schemes, caught her in bed with a 24-year-old monk that they had adopted.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack from that sentence.
Yes, there is.
Number one, why would you adopt a 24-year-old?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Number two,
Yeah,
aren't monks supposed to not have sex?
correct. I think so. Yeah.
Number
Pretty sure.
three, what?
Yeah. Yeah, they adopted Paramaha from a temple last year out of compassion.
You didn't even try on that one.
It's PHRA.
Okay, so
Paramaha, MAHA. It's very short.
at the very least, he was 23 years old.
Yeah, okay, 23 years old. Does that make it better for you?
I'm just confused as to why we're adopting adults.
I don't understand. Well,
Yeah.
hey, adults need love too.
I agree.
Suspicions had been brewing on T's mind, the husband, regarding his wife's increasingly intimate relationship with their monk son.
And so he filmed them bedding one another.
Correct.
Okay.
Betting one another is a nice way of putting they were getting it on, Ryan.
Bumping uglies.
Yeah.
Okay. So then he went public with this information.
Oh, he posted it to social media.
That's how we handle shit around here.
all over the world,
I dig
baby.
that. Good for you.
And even worse, and Germany, you're doing this to yourself. We're heading to Germany for this one. I don't understand.
What's
this.
Germany ever done to us, Tyler?
German politician Martin Neumayer.
That was a relatively easy one.
Yeah. He has gone viral. I don't know if you've heard this one or not. Has gone viral. He went around and filmed himself licking public toilets. I was going to show, there's the video that's right here in front of me, which I didn't think would be fair to show to you. Even the photo, I didn't want to do that to you because it's really disturbing.
Are they like really noticeably dirty toilets?
They're just public toilets.
Okay.
He's going around licking them. And at one point he grows a toilet brush and starts licking it.
What? And who is this person in the government?
He's just a politician in the government. And at one point gets some, and I'm sorry, audience,
we're good.
Get some shit on his fingers and creates a little Hitler mustache.
Oh!
And he goes full Shitler.
Oh, he's a fucking prop comic.
Yeah, he went Shitler on that one.
Wow.
And I think he did the goose step if I'm not mistaken.
And
I'm
he
not
was
sure.
posting this.
And I don't know if he posted it, but somebody got their hands on it and posted it. And in his response to it, he said that he has a shaming kink, and that was his punishment. Although the punishment, what he did to be punished in that way, we're not really sure.
Wow.
Yeah, we need some follow-up journalism. Germany.
Germanism.
Germanism.
Yeah.
Get away from the poop kink, Germany. Why? Why are you doing that?
I've said it many times on this show, and I'll say it again. As long as you're with somebody else who's into it, I say good on you.
Or with yourself, but that public toilet cannot say no, Ryan. It cannot consent.
That means it's a yes.
So before you jump in, I gotta give this to
Yeah,
both of you.
hit him. I hate that.
I know, but it's necessary.
And just this general idea of if you're doing these crazy things, which you shouldn't do crimes, you shouldn't lick poop, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Just what is the deal with recording these things? These people who Puff Daddy, heard of them?
Heard of him?
Seemingly not a good man.
Yeah, you saw that video that just came out?
I have not.
Ooh, boy. Yeah, somebody
describe it to me.
Well, it's just in a hotel. It was back from 2016. He's there with his then girlfriend. I can't think of her name. And he was just beating the shit out. He was throwing her down the hallway. She's on the ground, obviously looking terrified. He was in a towel around his.
Oh, I saw a still image of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
around his waist, and he had a hand towel in one hand. And somebody made the very a comment that was very on point, which was he beat the shit out of this woman without ever dropping the towel. This guy is a pro at domestic violence.
And that was in a hotel hallway.
In a hallway, yeah.
So imagine what's going on when they're alone.
Yep.
Like that is a place where you could very easily be discovered.
Yeah, I didn't see the video, but apparently somebody described the fact that he, like, the very end of the video is him grabbing her and dragging her back to their room, where I imagine he did even worse stuff to her. So yeah, no, but back to, what we said, no poop play and no recording yourself doing it.
We did not say that. Poop play if you want, but do it appropriately and be safe out there, guys.
Yeah, like the last thing that was recorded here in American politics was some guy having gay sex in like Congress while it was.
I remember that.
While the room was empty.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have gay sex in public, or if you're gonna have sex in public, whatever. If you're gonna have sex in public, whatever. If you're gonna record yourself, whatever. Don't do both at the same time.
I agree. Everybody's had sex at work at some point, right?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. I mean, primarily with myself, but whatever works.
I wanted to talk to you about that. But and also at that last restaurant that I worked at, do not eat at table 43. I will tell you that.
Yeah.
But
never going to tell you what table that is.
Yeah, don't ask. Or a restaurant. But the idea is, what happened to that guy? What happened to the gay sex guy?
He got out of politics immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of gay sex going on in politics. You're just not allowed to talk about it or show it.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Well, and you're allowed to have gay sex, but probably not there on the floor.
Probably not. Yeah, that's
right.
Probably for the worst.
All right, let's take a break here. Let's figure out where you and I can have gay sex. Not together.
Why?
Not together. Not together.
Why?
No, I said not together.
No. Gay sex. Ugh, gross. Why?
And we'll be right back.